Okay, this is Tahir Benjeloun's The Sand Child. We're on Chapter 5, Bab el Had, and I hope you are reading along with me in a book because you should read a Moroccan book before you go to Morocco. Uh, okay, Chapter 5, Bab el Had. A tiny gate. One has to stoop to go through it. It stands at the entrance of the Medina and is linked with the one at the other end, which is used for leaving. Actually, this is a false distinction. It depends where one is coming from, but it is useful to know that throughout history there have been gates for entering and gates for leaving. Ahmed would often go back and forth between the two gates. He is now 20 years of age, a cultivated young man, and his father is thinking anxiously about his future. I suppose everyone has been wondering what would happen in our story at this crucial point. Here is how things turned out. One day Ahmed went to see his father in his workshop and said to him, "Father, what do you think of my voice?" "It is fine, neither too deep nor too high-pitched." "Good," Ahmed replied. "And what about my skin?" "Your skin? Nothing unusual about it." "Have you noticed that I don't shave every day?" "Yes, why?" "What do you think of my muscles?" "Which muscles?" "These, for example, the chest muscles." "I don't know." "Have you noticed that it's hard here on my chest, Father? I'm going to grow a mustache." "Go ahead, if that's what you want to do." "From now on, I'm going to wear a suit and tie." "As you wish, Ahmed." "Father, I'd like to get married." "What? You are still too young." "Didn't you marry young?" "Yes, but things were different then." "How are they now?" "I don't know. You're embarrassing me." "Isn't it a time of lies and mystification? Am I a human being or an image, a stone in a faded garden or a stout tree? Tell me, what am I?" "Why all these questions?" "I ask them so that you and I can face up to things. Neither of us is taken in. I don't just accept my condition and endure it. I actually like it. It's interesting. It gives me privileges that I would never have known. It opens doors for me, and I like that, even if it then locks me in a glass cage. Sometimes I nearly suffocate in my sleep, but when I wake I am glad to be what I am. I've read all the books on anatomy, biology, psychology, and even astrology. I've read them and I have decided to be fortunate. The mysteries of solitude I will confine to a journal. By choosing life, I have accepted adventure. I'd like to pursue this story to the end. I am a man. My name is Ahmed, according to the tradition of our prophet, and I want a wife. We'll have a great but discreet festival to celebrate the engagement. Father, you've made me a man. I must remain one, and as our beloved prophet says, a complete Muslim is a married man. The father was deeply disturbed. He did not know how to answer his son or what advice to give him. After all, Ahmed was merely carrying the situation to its logical conclusion. He had not told his father everything, for he had a plan. A long, uneasy silence ensued. Ahmed became a petty tyrant. At home he made his sisters wait on him at lunch and dinner. He would shut himself up in the upper room. He abstained from any show of tenderness toward his mother, whom he seldom saw. At the workshop he had already begun to take the business in hand. Efficient, modern, cynical, he was an excellent dealer. His father couldn't keep up with him, so he let his son do as he wished. Ahmed had no friends. Secretive and domineering, he was feared. He sat in state in his room, went to bed late, and got up early. In fact, he read a great deal and wrote through the night. Sometimes he would stay locked in his room for 4 or 5 days on end. Only his mother dared to knock at his door. He coughed rather than speak, just to indicate that he was still alive. One day he summoned his mother and said to her in a firm voice, "I have chosen the woman who will be my wife." The mother had already been warned of her son's intentions by her husband. She said nothing, betrayed not the slightest surprise. Nothing her son ever did or said could shock her any more. She told herself that madness had got into his brain. She dared not think that he had become a monster. The past year his behavior had changed out of all recognition. He had become odd, to say the least, sometimes destructive and violent. She looked up at him and said, "Who is she?" Fatima. Fatima, my cousin, the daughter of my uncle, my father's younger brother, who rejoiced at the birth of each of your daughters. But you can't. Fatima is ill. She's an epileptic and has a limp. Precisely. You're a monster. I am your son. No more, no less. You will bring unhappiness on us all. I am only obeying you, you and my father. You marked out a path for me. I've taken it, followed it, and out of curiosity, I've gone a little further. In this family, the women wrap themselves in a shroud of silence. They obey. My sisters obey. You keep quiet, and I give the orders. How ironic. How have you managed not to breathe the slightest seed of discontent into your daughters? They come and go, slinking along the walls, awaiting the providential husband. What a miserable existence. Have you seen my body? It's grown. It's come home. I've shed the outer bark. It was fragile and transparent. My body has grown, and I no longer sleep in another's body. I lie on the edge of your shroud. You say nothing. You're right. I'll tell you something else. Certain verses of the Koran that I had to learn by heart have come back into my mind recently. Just like that, for no apparent reason. They go through my head, stop for a second, then vanish. God charges you concerning your children to make the like of the portion of 2 females. So, I'm expecting to get married and to start a home, a hearth. My house will be a glass cage, not much, just a room lined with mirrors, which will reflect the light and images. First, I must get engaged. But we don't have to rush things. For the time being, I'm going to write, perhaps love poems for the sacrificial woman. Her or me. I'll leave the choice to you. Oh, my companions, this character eludes our grasp. To my way of thinking, he should not have become cruel. It seems to me that he has given us the slip. That sudden, brutal change of mind disturbs me, and I don't know where it will lead. He is damned, weighed down by a curse, transformed by witches. Do you think, who listen to me, that he is an unscrupulous man? A monster? A monster who writes poems? I doubt it. And I feel happy with this face. I come back to the book. The ink is pale. Drops of water, perhaps tears, have made this page illegible. I find it difficult to read. In the aching arms of my body I hold myself. I descend to the depths as if to escape myself. I let myself slip into a wrinkle. I love the smell of that valley. I startle at the cry of the mare sent by the absent one. She is white, and I cover my eyes. Slowly my body opens to my desire. I take it by the hand. It resists. The mare gallops off. I fall asleep, entwined in my arms. Is it the sea that murmurs thus in the ear of a dead horse, or is it a horse or a siren? What ritual of shipwreck is dragged down by the sea's hair? I am shut up in an image, and the tall waves pursue me. I fall, I faint. Is it possible to faint in sleep, to lose consciousness and no longer recognize the feel of familiar objects? I have built my house with shifting images. I am not playing. I am trying not to die. I have at least the whole of my life to answer a question. Who am I? And who is the other? A gust of wind at dawn, a motionless landscape, a trembling leaf, a coil of white smoke above a mountain? I write all these words, and I hear the wind, not outside, but inside my head, a strong wind. It rattles the shutters through which I enter the dream. I see that a door is leaning to one side. Will it fall where I rest my head to welcome other lives, to stroke other faces? They are gloomy faces and gay ones, but I love them because I invent them. I make them very different from my own, whether distorted or sublime, snatched from the light of day and stuck on the branches of the tree like a witch's conquests. Sometimes the winter of those faces chills my blood. I leave them, go and look elsewhere. I take hands, I choose large, delicate ones. I shake them, kiss them, suck them. I become intoxicated. Hands resist me less. They cannot make grimaces. Faces take revenge on my freedom by grimacing the whole time. That is why I set them aside. not violently, but I set them aside. I pile them up. They are crushed. They suffer. Some even cry out, hooting like owls, mewling, gnashing their teeth in different faces. Neither men's nor women's, but faces of absolute beauty. The hands betray me too, especially when I try to match them with the faces. The main thing is to avoid shipwreck. The ritual of shipwreck obsesses me. I run the risk of losing everything, and I have no desire to find myself outside again with the others. My nakedness is my sublime privilege. I am the only one to observe it. I am the only one to curse it. I dance. I turn and turn. I clap my hands. I strike the ground with my feet. I lean toward the trap door behind which I hide my creatures. I am afraid of falling and confuse myself with one of those unsmiling faces. I turn and turn till I'm dizzy. The sweat stands out in my forehead. My body dances to some African rhythm. I'm in the bush and mingle with the naked men. I forget to ask myself who I am. I aspire to the silence of the heart. I am tracked down and give my mouth to a flame in the forest. I am not in Africa, but in a cemetery by the sea. I feel cold. All the graves have been emptied, abandoned. The wind that whistles through is their prisoner. A horse painted with blues of night gallops through this cemetery. My eyes fall out and are stuck in the horse's head. The darkness swallows me up. I feel safe. I am caught by warm hands. They stroke my back. I guess whose they are. They are not mine. I lack everything and recoil. Is it tiredness or the idea of going back to myself and to the house? I would like to laugh, because I know that, condemned to isolation, I will not be able to overcome fear. It is said that this is what anxiety is. I have spent years adapting to my solitude. My reclusion is willed, chosen, loved. Moreover, I shall get faces and hands from it, journeys and poems. Out of suffering I am building a palace in which death will have no place. Though I will not repulse it, it will be forbidden entry. But suffering is sufficient unto itself. There is no need to deliver a mighty blow. This body is made up of fibers that accumulate pain and intimidate death. That is my freedom. Anxiety withdraws. I am left alone to fight until dawn. At daybreak I drop with exhaustion and joy. The others understand nothing. They are unworthy of my madness. Such are my nights, enchanted. I also like to set them high on the rocks and wait for the wind to shake them, wash them, separate them from sleep, shake off the darkness from them, undress them, and bring them to me wrapped in nothing but a cloud of dreams. Then everything becomes limpid. I forget. I sink gently into the other's open body. I no longer ask anybody anything. I drink coffee and live. Neither good nor evil. I ask nobody anything. My questions have no answers. I know this because I can see both sides of the mirror. I am not really very serious. I like to play. Even if I have hurt people, I have been above evil for a long time now, looking at all from afar. From the heights of my solitude. It is strange, my sternness, my harshness opens up doors for me. I don't ask so much. I jostle everybody. I ask not for love, but for abandonment. They don't understand. Hence the need to live my condition in all its horror. Today, I am pleased to think of the woman who will become my wife. I don't speak of desire yet. I speak of servitude. She will come, dragging one leg, her face contorted, her eyes anxious, overcome by my request. I shall have her brought up to my room and talk to her of my nights. I shall kiss her hand, say that she is beautiful. I shall make her cry and let her indulge her feelings. I shall observe her, struggling against death, slobbering, imploring. I shall kiss her on the forehead. She will calm down again, then set off for home without looking back. I am not depressed. I am exasperated. I am not sad. I am desperate. My night has given me nothing. It has passed unperceived, calm, empty, dark. friends. I told you this gate was narrow. I read on your faces embarrassment and anxiety. This confession both enlightens us and distances us. It makes the character even more strange. Certain very obscure exchanges of letters were to upset our hero's plans and life. These letters entrusted to the notebook are not all dated, but in reading them one may well place them at this point in our story. Either they are not signed or the signature is absolutely illegible. Sometimes it consists of a cross, sometimes initials or arabesques. Are they from an anonymous correspondent, or are they imaginary? Or did he write them himself in his isolation? The first letter does not appear in the notebook. It must have been lost. The next is a reply to it. So it seems that my punishment will be life itself. Your letter did not surprise me. I guess how you were able to procure the strange private details of my life, the way in which you slip yourself into those questions. The imprudence with which you interfere in my dream makes you an accomplice of whatever I may commit or provoke by way of misfortune. Your signature is an illegible scribble. The letter is not dated. Are you by any chance the exterminating angel? If you are, come see me. We might have a good laugh together. Poste restante. Initials. So much mystery. I found your letter under the stone at the entrance to the garden. Thank you for answering. You are still being very evasive. I have been waiting for you a long time. My questions were probably not precise, but you see, I cannot reveal my identity without incurring danger that would bring misfortune on us both. Our correspondence must remain confidential. I am depending on your sense of secrecy. The purpose that guides me has brought me to you, is stamped with the seal of the impossible. Yet I like walking on that path. I am patient, my hopes nourished by the dream I have of you whenever the fever rises, when I see you without your seeing me, as if you talk to yourself or lie down naked in the white pages of this notebook. I observe you and follow you until you're out of breath. It's amazing how much you move, how much you tear around. I would like to be able to stop you for a moment, a brief instant, to look at your eyes and their lids, but I have only a vague image of you, and maybe it's better that way. Since you have come to my house to spy on me and observe my gestures and thoughts, I have decided to do a little housework. My room is not very large. The parallel mirrors, the roof light, the large windows, and my solitude make it seem larger than it is. I'm going to make it even larger by cleaning up my life and my memories, for there is nothing more cumbersome than things left by time in some floor of the memory. People say a corner of the memory, but I know that it is a floor, for there are so many other objects piled up waiting for a sign to tumble down and encumber my present life. On your next visit you will be surprised. You may not even recognize the place. I do not conceal the fact that I am trying to bring about your ruin. You will fall into the net of your boldness or into a ditch by the roadside, but let us stay together for a while yet. Let us not lose sight of each other. Let me hear from you soon. Not having the time to come to see you, and being unsure whether my presence would disturb you, I still prefer to write you. I have learned that you have expressed the wish and the determination to marry, a fine gesture in principle, but your soul seems to be wandering. Will you dare make a victim of some poor defenseless creature? No. That would be unworthy of you. However, if you wish to do harm to one of your uncles, I may have a few ideas to offer you. But I remain convinced that your genius has ambitions of much wider scope. I shall still remain in the shadow of anonymity that may lead anywhere, especially to you, to your thoughts, to your soul, to your body lying next to mine. My father is ill. I must give up all my plans. I feel it's a difficult time. I am obsessed by the idea of his disappearance. It pains me to hear him cough. My mother does not seem to be prepared for this ordeal. I leave my room and lie beside him, without sleeping. I observe the rhythm of his breathing. I watch over him and quietly weep over myself. Today I am telling you of my fear and pain, but you are ensconced in anonymity. which brings me close to you. I would not like to see your face or hear your voice. Let me guess what you are like through your letters. Do not be angry with me if I am slow to give you news of myself. The exchange of letters breaks off here to make room for the major event, the decisive ordeal, the most important turning point in our character's life. The father's death was to be preceded by a number of incidents, plottings, and schemings, which were to strengthen the heir's resolve and give his status an unchallenged legitimacy. Bab Head, as its name suggests, is the outer gate, the wall erected to put an end to a situation. It will be our last gate, for it was closed against us without warning. I spoke to you, I know, of 7 gates. And now I do not know where the story is leading. It does not stop at this gate, but it will no longer go through gates pierced in a wall. It will go around and around a circular street, and we will have to follow it with ever more attention. And that's the end of chapter 5.